This week's Safety Toolbox talk is on housekeeping on our projects. And that would include housekeeping coming into the projects and then across the site logistics of the projects. And when you've shown up on your job sites and you start walking your job sites, housekeeping in itself can tell a story in itself. When you walk in and you see all this staged product on both sides of the corridors and we're not 4 feet wide as required on most of our projects, housekeeping does become an issue. And of course, OSHA looks at it as a slip, trip, and fall exposure. Housekeeping inside jobs, outside jobs would include staircases, corridors, primarily corridors, anywhere that you're egressing and or accessing an elevation. Staircases primarily when you've got extension cords going through them, baker scaffolds, anything of that nature really can create havoc. As you come up on different floors on different jobs, depending on scopes being performed, you'll find zones on a job site like this that are extremely clean, well organized, and lit up. Housekeeping also takes into consideration illumination. Illumination, subpart D of the Hazard Communication Standards and in the electrical standards per OSHA is a must. You have to be able to see where you're going and or coming down off of a ladder on a particular elevation in regard to housekeeping so that you don't slip and trip, fall backwards. Housekeeping could be included in roof systems. It could be included in any exterior site logistics plan, any elevation, basements, so on and so forth. And each contractor is responsible for their housekeeping on every job. It's very difficult to coordinate that with subcontractors, but as you can see on the outside of these buildings, the staging of material becomes havoc also, especially when you're operating lots of equipments. So where am I staging my product? Is it loose or is it secured? Can it create a hazard of any sort? A slip, a trip, and or a fall. Now when you take a look at a room like this, you can see that there are extension cords on the floor. This is a job that's finishing from the top down, this one in particular. So all of our subcontractors have moved product down here into rooms, and we've got all kinds of material stacked and stored in one room. Taking a look at this drywall on this cart, that's a big no-no. We do not store idle drywall on a cart straight up and down like this that might slip and or fall onto a tradesman coming down this corridor. So there's a lot to take into consideration in housekeeping. We've talked about slips, we've talked about trips, we've talked about falls, but there's also the caught between pinch by exposures. Clean job site is a safe job site. So let's talk about this week on our projects and address our housekeeping on a daily basis. Thank you and have a safe week.